Welcome back. Welcome back to my channel. A little bit about everything. I believe it's Friday, October 16th, and I've been having problems with my lathe. Okay, and the tailstock of my lathe, I had a drill chuck. Okay, I had a drill chuck in there, and there's a tang on these to prevent it from spinning, right? But on my lathe, inside the quill, there is no tailstock, there's no place for this tang, right? Normally there's a hole inside of the quill where you can put in a wedge to pop these out. There's no tang portion in this quill. And if you want to remove your MT3 taper, you back it into the quill, it hits the leading screw and pops it out. Well, what happened is, I don't know if you see it on the chuck, but it spun here. Okay, it spun right there all the way across there, and I had to buy a new one of these because it left a piece of metal inside the quill at this place, and I've never removed it. Okay, now I was wondering how I would do this, right? And I decided to purchase if you can see that, I'm not sure. I bought a tool. I bought a dremel. It's a 3000. It has 5 positions for speeds. It goes all the way up from 5,000 to 35,000 RPM. Okay, and the reason why you'd want to spin at 4 is because if you had a wire brush, you don't want the quills to go out and dart out in all directions, right? You can't spin it too fast. But when you're doing hard metals and stuff like that with a wheel or a cutter, you can use your 35,000 RPM. And it also came with this box of stuff in it. I have, oh, if it wants to come out, I have a grinding disc, okay, for metal. I have some polishing compound. I have a few arbors and a few grinding wheels and a stone. This type of stone is used to dress stones, right? You can dress your stones to make sure that they're concentric, so you don't get a wobble when you spin them. And these are the polishing discs you can use with that compound. And these are the arbors. You just spin this into the oh, I don't know if I got it there. You spin that into the buffing wheel and you use it that way. Okay, and there's actually drum sanders as well. Okay, but I'm going to be using the orange wheels, which are aluminum oxide for grinding steel. This was this 3000 was bucks, something like that, 80 bucks or something. $80 Canadian. I don't know how much it's American. But. And so I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get you a shot of that quill. This is the quill. It's graduated from 1 to 3 inches. Whoops, 1 to 3 inches, right? This portion screws into the tailstock, the screw, and there's a cutout in this piece, and it's slotted all the way through because it's the only way you can prevent the quill. Oops, you can prevent the quill from spinning, right? And that is the inside of the quill. I'm going to get a light and flash it down in there so you can see. Oops. I don't know if you can see that. There's a portion right there, like it's like maybe 3/4 of an inch from the top. You can see a brighter ring. That's where it's spun. That's where I want to grind to take out the imperfections. I'm going to try to keep my contact area limited to that, so I'm going to put some marker in there, some dicum, so I can actually see what I'm grinding down. And once it's ground down enough, it'll leave a, instead of leaving a mark like that, there will be no mark. You know what I mean? And the way I've actually figured that out, if you're going to check how a taper fits, you make 3 marks to check roundness and to see if the tapers match, right? So you put that in there and just spin it. If you wanted to see which mark went where and where the oddities would be, you just give it a light rub and pull it out. Now if I look at my marks, all the markers going at that spot at all the same places, and it actually drug some of that marker around. So that's what I'm going to take care of with this tool. The angle I'm giving you is not the best angle, but I can't really show you or let you see what I'm seeing and try to do it properly because I don't have a camera that would fit on my glasses or something like that you could actually see what I see. Maybe someday I'll get something that'll help me out do that. So this dremel tool, when you first buy it, you should let it run maximum for 5 minutes to let the brushes actually seed in it. And this type of dremel tool, you can either use a key or use that slotted to actually fit the cap screw. And you need a collet. Start off with a collet. You put your chuck on there and then put in your tool. Now if I hold this, depress this button here, I'm locking the spindle, right? And you'll want about that much, leave a 1/4 inch sticking out. And you can use this to actually help tighten that up there. Okay, and get some of this stuff out of the way. Whoops. Now the extension on the tool isn't quite long enough. It's not practical. It would be okay if you were on a bench. Now I'm going to try to darken this up. And I'm just going to apply, let the tool grind away in these areas. See? Now, before I go wasting a tool, I'm going to try this on a small piece of metal to see what it does. Just to see if I get, I don't want to destroy the quill right off the bat. So this is going to be my quill. I'm going to see how much pressure I have to put down on this tool. Not much pressure required. I might make it easier. If I get some wedges. And prop up the piece. Clean out the bore. Just get a rag and clean out the shavings. So now that I've finished polishing that portion, I'm going to take this marker and once again and if you look at this, the mark stayed there. So that means it's not rubbing in that area anymore. I'm going to have to glue it up real nice to make sure I can see it right. Not that deep. About right here. Seems to be rubbing up against that portion, but I don't see any burrs. That taper is just so-so because it seems to be taking up most of the pressure up here. I'm thinking the MT3 taper, if you look in the book, is not quite 5/8 per foot. It's 124, I think it is, or 624 or 600s, right? It's not quite 5/8 per foot. And most tools, if you're not aware of that, if you didn't check it up in the book, you're going to do a 5/8 taper, and what if they send you another piece from somewhere else where you did it right? You're not going to get matching tapers. See, I get a rub here, which is around this area on the top, and I get a rub on the opposite side at the top. It's almost like it's bell mouth. I might hit that later on with some polishing compound if it wants to actually sort of like lap it, lap that setting in. Whoops, sorry about that.